Guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about the plant kingdom chapter. In this chapter we are going to discuss about the algae. What is meant by algae? So algae are the chlorophyll bearing, means which contains the chlorophyll, and the structure is simple, thalloid and autotrophic. Autotrophic means which can prepare their own food. They can live both in freshwater and marine water organism. They can be occur in varieties of habitats such as moist stones, soil and wood. Some of them are also occur in association with the fungi, which means lichens we have seen. Some are we can see in the sloth bear. Next, the size can be varied according to their size. There can be different types of the algae, such as colonial form like volvax, and the filamentous form like Ulothrix and Spirogyra, and few of them are like clubs, forms the massive body structures. So algae can be reproduced by the asexual and sexual method. When it is coming to vegetative reproduction, it is done by the fragmentation. Each fragment develops into a thallus. Asexual reproduction is done by the production of different types of the spores. So most common thing is zoospores. They are flagellated, motile, and on germination give rise to a new plants. Flagellated means they have some tail, they can be movement for the locomotion, and the germination give rise to a new plant. So whereas in the sexual reproduction it takes place the fusion of the two gametes. It can be a similar or non-similar gametes. So it's seen in the similar sizes seen in the Ulothrix, and non-flagellated, non-motile but similar size in the Spirogyra. Such reproduction is called isogamous. Iso means same, so similar in size, known as isogamous. Anisogamous is nothing but the dissimilar in size, is known as anisogamous. When the fusion of the one large non-motile female gamete and a smaller motile male gamete is known as oogamous. It is seen in volvax and Spirogyra. Here we can see the pictures of the different types of the algae. First one is known as volvax. This is the parent colony, and these inside these showing, these are known as the daughter colony, and this one is known as Ulothrix. Next, algae can be of three types based on the pigments and chlorophyll present. It can be green, brown and red. These are all of green algae, and these second one B, these are all of brown algae. So these can be laminaria, fucus and dipiota, and these last one is known as the red algae, porphyra and polycyphonia. Algae are useful in many ways. They can be used as the proteins in the space, and some can be used for the food like for the fishes and everything. So at least half of the total carbon dioxide fixation on the earth carried by the algae through photosynthesis. So because of the algae, at least half of the carbon dioxide fixation on the earth can be done through the process known as photosynthesis. Being a photosynthetic, they increase the level of the dissolved oxygen in immediate environment. They paramount of the importance energy-rich compounds, which forms the basis for the many species of porphyra, laminaria, sargassum. All are among the 70 species of the marine algae are used as a food, and some of the marine brown and red algae can be Brown and red algae can be large amount hydrocolloids. Algae is done by the uh, brown algae, and carrageen comes from the red algae, which commonly used. And whereas in the agar, it is most common commercial product obtained from the Gelidium glacialia, used to grow microbes and preparation of ice creams and jellies. And Corella, it is a unicellular algae rich in proteins, supplements even by the space travels. So based on the pigments and chlorophyll, it can be classified into of three types. First one chlorophyllaceae, second one is phaeophyllaceae, third one is rhodophyllaceae. Chlorophyllaceae is also known as the green algae. It contains the pigments, chlorophyll pigments A and B. The body structure may be unicellular, colonial, or filamentous. There can be any of these. So the pigments are localized in definite chloroplast. The chloroplast may be discoid, plate-like, reticulate, or any of these shape can be a chloroplast with different species. Most of the members have one or more storage bodies called pyronids seen in the chloroplast. Pyronids contains the protein besides the starch. Some algae may store food in the form of oil droplets. Green algae usually have cell wall made up of the inner cellulose and outer pectose. So in this vegetative reproduction generally takes place by the fragmentation, and asexual reproduction is done by the flagellated juice pores produced in juice sporangia. The asexual reproduction considerable variation in type and formation may be what is meant by isogamous? It nothing but the similar in size. Anisogamous is nothing but the dissimilar in size. So these are the common green algae: Chlamydomonas, Volvax, Ulothrix, Pyrogyra, and Char. These are the common examples of the chlorophyllaceae. And coming to the phaeophyllaceae, phaeophyllaceae is nothing but commonly called as the brown algae. It's also known as the brown algae, and in primarily can be seen in the marine habitats. It shows great variation in size and the form. It ranging from from simple branched to the large plants can be seen, like ectocarpus to profusely branched forms are represented by clubs. And the chlorophyll present is chlorophyll A and C, carotenoids, and xanthophyll. In chlorophyllaceae, the pigments will be A and B chlorophyll. Here carotenoids and xanthophyll are also present. So due to presence of these, the color may change from olive green to many depending upon the amount of the xanthophyll pigmentation and fucoxanthin present in it. Next, the stored food material is nothing but the laminarian or mannitol. So vegetative cells have cellulose cell wall contents called algin. And in addition to plastic, central located vacuole and nucleus. The plant body is made up of by the whole substratum, stalk, and stipulate leaf-like structure, organelle found. So it contains the three parts: substratum, stalk, and stipe, and leaf-like structure, photosynthetic organism found. Vegetative reproduction takes place by the fragmentation. So asexual reproduction is most common in brown algae is due to biflagellated juice pores, and they are pear-shaped and have two unequal lateral attached flagella. And the sexual reproduction is done by the isogamous, anisogamous, and oogamous. Union of the gametes may take place in the water or within oogonium oogamous species. The gametes are pear-shaped and bear two lateral flagellae. So here the examples are nothing but the ectocarpus, dichota, laminaria, and sargassum and fucus. So comparing to the green algae or chlorophyllaceae, here the plant body structure will be a little bit complex, containing the three parts. When compared to the chlorophyllaceae, body structure is little bit having complex in brown algae. Next, going to the rhodophyes. Rhodophyes is nothing but the commonly called as red algae. R for R, rhodophyes and red algae. Because of the pigment it contains, color is due to red in color. The pigment is nothing but the phycoxanthin. So these are majority marine with a great concentration found in the warmer areas. They can be both well lighted regions close to surface of the water. So the thalli will be the thalli of the most of the red algae are multicellular. Some of them have complex body organization, and Floridian starch is the food material present in the rhodophyes, which is very similar to amylopectin and glycogen in structure. The red algae usually reproduce vegetative by fragmentation. Vegetative reproduction is done due to by fragmentation process. It reproduces asexually by non-motile and sexually by non-motile spores. Here the table represents the characteristic features of the three chlorophyllaceae, phaeophyllaceae and rhodophyes. It is commonly called as the chlorophyllaceae is a green algae. Chlorophyll present is chlorophyll A and B, and the food material present is starch, cell wall is cellulose, and it contains the flagella. Number of the flagella, their position and everything, it is 2 to 8, and the equal in apical means starting point. So habitat where they can be found, they can be found in fresh water, brackish water and salt water. And Phaeophyllaceae is also known as the brown algae. It contains the pigments chlorophyll A and C, fucoxanthin. The stored food material is mannitol and laminaria. Cell wall is made up of the cellulose and algin. It contains the flagella too, and they are in unequal present at the lateral, which means back side of the organism. So it can be found in fresh water, brackish water and salt water. So coming to the next one class is rhodophyes. It is also called as the common name red algae. Major pigments can be chlorophyll A and D, phycoerythrin. Due to presence of the erythrin, the color forms the red algae and also called as rhodophyes. So stored food material is Floridian starch, and the cell wall is made up of cellulose, pectin and polysulfate esters. Esters are also be present in the cell wall. So here the cell wall is absent, flagella is absent, and then it can be found habitat is fresh water, brackish water, salt water and most of the water. So it is all about the kingdom classification of the algae. It is very important regarding the NEET and MSET and any competitive exam. In this table they can be asked one or anything. Thank you. Please watch, subscribe and like. Thank you.